let's see, make sure we got this. If you guys can just give me a thumbs up if you can see where it says weekly live training. Weekly live training 411. Hey, Robert, nice to see you. Robert's coming in from Southern California. Welcome, welcome. Alicia, yes, Alicia's with me, right? Alicia's gone away on vacation before and somehow or another figured out how to get it all done. We all do that, guys. We all do that. So yes, cool. All right, great. Eric, thank you. Amber, thank you. Sweet. Okay, guys. So like I said, today, top 3 avoidable pitfalls. And we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about some trends that are going on with commercial real estate, because some really cool, really interesting things that are happening in the next few years that make it so important why you got to get your business dialed in, because this business you can make a lot of money in, right? And that even, money might not be everybody's end goal, but money is nothing more than a vehicle. Money doesn't keep you warm at night. Money doesn't love you back, but it does allow you to take better care of your family, send your kids to better schools, donate to charities. It allows you to help the others. It helps you. The more money that you have, the better, person and citizen you can be, the more you can affect others. So whenever I bring up the term money, I just mean it as the vehicle that you can use to help make your life better, make your family's life better, make your community better, and the world better. Okay, y'all with me? Cool. All right, so let's get on down to it. Okay. So number one reason, or I should say, we're going to start work backwards from 3. Okay. So the biggest thing that I see, okay, and you have to understand, folks, I have hundreds of conversations with brokers all across the country every single year. Okay. And I wind up hearing very much a lot of the same themes, right? And the number one thing that comes to mind, or I should say one of the top 3 things that comes to mind is not having a clear action plan or goals. If I asked you to scribe out your day in 2-hour blocks, right? From the time you get into the office at 8 o'clock to the time you leave the office at 6 p.m. If you can't tell me what you are doing every block of the day, you don't have a clear enough vision of what you're supposed to be doing, right? If you go into the office and then, okay, I tell you what, guys, let's all be honest, right? This is a little circle of trust, right? Right? Raise your hand with a thumbs up, okay? Give me a thumbs up if your business plan sounds like this, or at some point in your career, it sounded like this. I get to the office, some days 8:30, some days 9, I don't know, some days 9:30, depending on what time, how many times I hit snooze. And when I get there, I crack open my emails and I kind of sift through those, and then I chit chat with some of my people that are in my office. And then I got some contracts that I'm working on. So I call the buyers and I call the sellers, depending on who I'm representing. And then and then I go to lunch, and I might go to lunch with one of my coworkers. And then I really got to take care of these deals because it's super important. And I respond, really quick whenever anyone reaches out to me. And then before I know it, sometimes it's like 5, 6 o'clock and I just don't know where the day went. And I just answered phone calls and this and that. Guys, anybody ever? Because I will be the first to admit that was me at one point in my career. Okay. The reason being, I didn't have a crystal clear vision of what I was supposed to be doing, right? And it wasn't until I got it really dialed into exactly what needed to be done did I have an epiphany, right? So not having a clear action plan or goals, right? If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, you're missing the boat. And what's happening is you're not going to get as much out of your day. What happens when you don't get as much out of your day? You either A, aren't hitting your financial goals, or B, having to work too darn long to hit the financial goals that you want to hit. So Jan says all the damn time. Yeah, okay. See, we got one honest person here. Rosa says, yeah, thumbs up. Maria says thumbs up. Exactly, right, guys? And that's what we hone in on. We get you that my students in the program know exactly. I say it till I'm blue in the face, but they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing at different times of the day. And what that does is it gives you clarity. So we're not going to micromanage you down to every 15 minutes, but 2 hours is a good chunk where you can get a lot of work done and very focused on one thing and then very focused on another, right? So number 3, counting down from 3 down to 1, not having a clear action plan, okay? Next up, okay? And this is a big one, guys. This is a big one. Not knowing how to generate real estate leads or how to qualify them, right? Okay. So here's what I mean by that. A lot of people, especially if they came from the residential side and moved over to commercial, like it's relatively easy, or I should say easier than commercial, to get leads in residential because everybody needs a roof over their head. But in commercial, due to the fact that we are dealing with a very specific, very niche property, niche kind of clientele, you don't just walk down the street and run into commercial real estate building owners, right? Why? Because not everybody owns commercial real estate, but everybody needs an apartment or a house or someplace to live. So when you're in residential, you can get leads. Leads are everywhere. You go to the gas station, you hand out your business card, you get business, right? But in commercial, you have to go, not only know where to go to find these people, but then what to say and how to say it so you can get a very specific outcome, right? So if you don't know how to generate real estate leads, right, or how to qualify them, and I'll get to that in a second, then you are going to get whatever falls in your lap, okay? And a lot of people, the weak spot I see when people are doing that is what winds up happening is you wind up doing things and trying to turn something, put a square peg in a round hole is probably the best way to put it, right? So like, for instance, like if you don't have enough business coming in, whatever comes in, you kind of have a stranglehold on it and you're like, oh no, this is my only lead I have, let me do something. And even though the person might not be financially qualified, might not be motivated, might not be ready, might not need what it is you're trying to find them, you're going to do everything you can so you stay busy, so you feel like you're doing something. And what winds up happening at the end of the day is you're trying to turn something, you're trying to force something that's not to be, right? So not knowing how to generate leads, and then the flip side of that is then also, once you get the lead, how to qualify it, right? How many of you guys, raise your hands? I'm guilty here, guys. I'm probably just said, it's a tree of trust, okay? How many of you guys have ever gotten a lead and you work real hard, you do this, and you do that, and you do this, and you do that, and next thing you know, they just go poof. They just evaporate into thin air, right? Let's see. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? So the important part to understand is you really, really need to know, okay, this person is someone worth spending my time, right? I don't know if any of my students are on right now, but any of you guys that have been to any of my trainings, right? You'll hear me say it over and over again. As commercial real estate brokers, we only have two things to sell. Can anybody tell me what those two things are? Two things, right? We have our time and our knowledge. Those are the only two things that we have to sell. Okay, so you really, really have to understand time and knowledge. Okay, so once you really start thinking through that lens and start really viewing your business, that's it. So you need to be very, very stingy with your time if the people do not qualify. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so guys, do me a favor. Have any of you ever had any, and it's okay, we're all here together, right? Type unqualified in the chat if you've ever dealt with anyone that was unqualified, only to find out that they ghost you because there's nothing that you can really do for them because they're not qualified, right? That's oftentimes if you're dealing with someone who doesn't have the money, doesn't have the motivation, doesn't really need what you're trying to show them. What it does is it feels like you're trying to force feed, a baby, or trying to force feed an animal, right? That it doesn't want it, right? Because it's not for them. Qualifying does two things, right? Number one, qualifying people lets you know who you should spend your precious time with, number one. And number two, sometimes when people's ears hear what their mouth is saying, it allows them to go through the thought process that they need to. Because face it, guys, we do this all day, every day. So we know what works and what doesn't. A lot of times people might think they want something. They might think they want X or Y or Z, but they've never really quite thought through it, And sometimes if you ask the right set of questions, you'll then get to the bottom of, well, I don't really need this, or I don't really need that, or maybe this isn't for me, or maybe that isn't for me, right? So the point I'm getting to, guys, is you need to bring these people through a set of questions so they think all the way through this equation. Here's what I mean. The best thing you can ever do when qualifying someone is go to their place of business. I don't care whether it's an office. I don't care whether they're retail, I don't care whether it's an industrial property, whatever it is, go to their place of business, because by walking through that place for like 10 minutes, you will see things that they won't tell you in a 10-hour conversation, just because they don't think to tell you, right? So you go there, you walk around, you look at how much space, you see if the admin staff have enough places, you see if there's enough restrooms, you see if there's enough parking or enough turnaround area for the trucks if it's a warehouse, you see if the warehouse is full from floor to ceiling with boxes, all this stuff, right? All the things you could see in a 10-minute tour will help you qualify that person, because you're going to know the questions to ask. You're going to know how many shipments they get. You're going to know how much additional parking they need. You're going to know how many bathrooms they need. You're going to know if they need a kitchen or have a kitchen, or whether they use their conference room or not. You're going to see all these things. It's going to be very, very obvious, right? And sometimes if you don't bring potential sellers, or in this case, let's say a buyer, through a certain set of questions, they're not going to think about these things the way we do. We think on like 10 different levels. They might just think like, I think it'd be cool to have a new facility. And that's as far as it goes. And you wind up cold calling them on that day, or you wind up knocking on their door if you're doing door knocking, and you're having a conversation. They're like, yeah, sure, show me some properties. Meanwhile, they have no idea what they want. You have no idea what you want. You wind up doing a whole bunch of work for them, and it goes nowhere because they don't need you. Right? So at the end of the day, very, very important to qualify, okay? And knowing how to generate leads and then qualify, that's the next step, right? Because you can generate a lead, but the lead is only good as how well you qualify it, right? It's only good to a certain point, okay? And here's the next biggest thing, guys. Like I said, I talk to hundreds of people per year that are active commercial real estate agents, and this is the number one thing. They don't have a guide. They don't have a mentor, someone to show them the way, okay? There's an old saying that the reason why we are able to see so far is because we have stood on the shoulders of giants. What does that mean? Knowledge, right? Someone else has already invented the wheel before you. Someone else has already written the book before you. Somebody else has already done what you're trying to do. Now, knowing that time is our most valuable resource, does it make sense to bump your head and skin your knee and fall down and pick yourself up and fall down and pick yourself up over and over again until you figure it out eventually, maybe? Or does it make sense for you to find and learn from somebody who has already done exactly what you are trying to do? Which one makes more logical sense, keeping in mind that time is our most valuable resource, okay? You can never, ever get it back. Okay, so that's the one thing that I see, and I will say I have hired previous mentors and had people teach me and so forth, and it catapulted the growth of my business. I have tripled my business in a 24-month period because I learned the right skills from the right people, right? And that's the point I'm getting to, guys. Whoever you are, it doesn't matter whether you are an elite athlete or whether you are a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. The smartest people that are trying to grow the most have coaches and mentors and learn from someone else that has already done the thing that they're trying to learn, because they understand how valuable time is, and it's not worth it to try to figure it out on your own. Do not reinvent the wheel. Now, let me get you guys a little fired up about some stuff, okay? Here's some really cool, important things to consider about what's going on in commercial real estate today. Just to give you an idea of like kind of what earnings potential is out there, right? Now, this is just going to be nationwide, but I really want to focus in on some things. Check this out. In 2017, so this is about 5 years old, right? This is from the NAR. The median gross household income for commercial members of the NAR was $165,000. Median, that means there's half were above that, half were below that, okay? But that's the middle of the road. If you're not earning 165K every single year, then that means you are below what the median is, right? The middle of the pack. We need to get you up there, right? If you are earning over that, we need to push that further along, because if you're already above the center of the pack, it means you got a pretty good skill set. Let's see what we can do to put rocket fuel on that, right? What I really like about this is 5 years ago now, guys. The median age of commercial members was 60 years old. What does that mean? These people are now 65. The median age, that means the middle of the pack is 65, which means for all of you folks, myself included, that are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the changing of the guard is upon us. There is a ridiculous amount of opportunity on its way here with commercial, because there's a lot of older folks that are in commercial. They've been in 20, 30, 40 years. Guess what? They're all about to retire. They made their money, they assessed their wealth, and now they might just do it to stay busy. But the young, hungry bucks are going to go and they're going to scoop up all the business. Okay. So something very, very important, something to understand. Okay. 60 years old is the median age. 70% are male, 74% of all brokers are males. Ladies, trust me, there's going to be a major influx of females in the business. Very, very important to understand, right? So just like David Bowie said, changes, there is a time for changing of the guard, and that is right now. We have some major, major things that are happening. These baby boomers are getting older. They're going on. They're going to be going to greener pastures. They're going to be retiring. Yes. So there's a ton of opportunity. The next 5 years, there's going to be a huge tidal wave, right? Here's the other thing I want to show you guys. Look at this. Okay. Now this is the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, like huge, huge organization. And of the thousands and thousands of people that responded to this survey in commercial now, 30% of the respondents were 66 years or older, right? So that is crazy. And mind you, this is from 5 years ago. So now that median age is up 5 years. So remember, the median age was 60. So now they're all 5 years older, right? So 17% is 61 to 65, 5 years ago. 17% is 56 to 60, right? So what does that tell me? That tells me a good 64% as of now are over 60 years old. Guys, you don't understand. And trust me, how many of you see 60-year-olds out there hustling, cold calling, making 50 dials a day, right? No, what are they doing, guys? Tell me what the 60-year-old agent in your office is doing. Is he calling his buddies, the people that he's known for a long time, making a few deals here and there, not breaking a sweat and not working real hard? Tell me that, guys. Type 60 in the chat if you see older brokers in your office and they're just making deal after deal after deal, but they're just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot, right? So what does that mean? That means that they're leaving a whole lot of opportunity for the rest of us. Some of these folks are going to retire. Some of these folks are going to unfortunately pass. But at the end of the day, it's going to open up a lane for the young, hungry people for sure. So those of you that out there, you got to be out there taking advantage of this, knowing this, guys. Type 60 in the chat if you're with me, right? Who here wants to scoop up the money from the people that aren't going to work real hard for it anymore? They put their time in, yes. But is there a major, major advantage? Yes, it's absolutely upon us. How do we take advantage of that? Here's the other cool part, right? NAR's commercial members by experience, right? So if you look at it, 40% have been in the business 26 or more years. Guys, they're aging out, okay? It's like, think of it this way, guys. You're going to try out for the football team. You're going to high school and you're going to try out for the football team, right? And 60% of the team are seniors, right? Do you think you got a chance of making the team very soon? Heck yeah, right? Because most of them are going to be graduating and going on to college or whatever, right? So very, very important to understand there's a major opportunity. If you don't see it, if you're not licking your chops, like getting giddy looking at these stats, because all this says to me is time stops for nobody. We're going to be, in the prime of our earning in the next 5 years, because half of the people, more than half of the people, are going to be going on to greener pastures. Most people aren't going to work past 65, 70, 75. If they do, they're not going to be doing it too hard. So for the people that are ready to hustle and willing to put in the work, there's going to be major opportunities, right? Look at this. There's so much room for activities, right? There is plenty of room for more commercial agents in commercial. There's plenty of room for market share, guys. You're leaving money on the table if you're not out there hustling, because some of these old timers, they don't want to put in the time. They've already earned their stripes, right? So just wanted to point that out to you guys. Here's something that I thought was kind of interesting. Only 21% of people have CCIMs anymore, right? And even fewer have these other different types of accreditations, right? So here's the thing. You don't need a certification. What you do need is you need a game plan, right? You need to learn how to qualify leads. You need to know how to generate leads. And most importantly, you need someone to show you the path. Once you have, someone like walking down a dark street, you might be putting your hands out there trying to make sure you don't bump into anything, versus having a mentor is like having someone shine a real nice flashlight, a floodlight, so you know exactly where to walk so you don't step in a pothole and twist your ankle, right? You know, there's no, you don't get any medals for courage in this business, right? So very, very important. Here's the other thing I want to point out, guys. 48% of the NAR commercials member snapshots, they own their own commercial real estate personally. So use commercial real estate as a means to an end. Use it as the way to fund your personal wealth so you can then take it and invest it in commercial real estate. Please, please, please don't spend your whole career making other people wealthy. Make yourself wealthy in the meantime, okay? That's why we're here. That's why we put in the hours. That's why we sometimes put up with the ups and downs of the business, is because we know at the end of the day, we can make large sums of money and we can take that money and we can put it to work so that we can enrich the lives of ourselves, our families, and our communities. Y'all with me? If you guys want to invest, you know, at some point in your career, type invest in the chat. Please let me know that you're on the same page, because if not, like I'm just going to sign off, because or else we're doing this for the wrong thing. If you like coming into this business and getting kicked around a lot just to make a paycheck, you know, I think you're in it for the wrong reason. I say that kiddingly, I say that lovingly, but you get where I'm getting at, guys, right? Rose is with me. Okay, cool. Yeah, like the more you guys, like, it is so important to get into this business, earn money, so you can take the skills that you're developing every day and use them for yourselves. Guys, that's what I did, right? You know, like we have the front lines of this business. We can look and we can see deals that are coming. We can see opportunities, and when the time is right, you pounce on it. You put everything you got into it, and that's how people, you know, accumulate wealth in this business, right? So cool. So what does this all mean? You just need a mentor and a plan, you know, and you got to learn how to qualify and generate leads. That's really what it comes down to, guys. And you can avoid all these pitfalls by not using your time properly, right? Ask me how. We can help you guys wherever you are in your business. We can help you here at CRE Basic Training. What we do is we help get you from where you are to where you're going. In fact, check out our motto: getting you where you're going faster. Okay, that's what our goal is. It's no accident that the element of time is built into the slogan for my business, right, guys? What we want to do is take you. You're already going to get there, hopefully, but we want to get you there faster and with a higher degree of certainty. That's our goal. So wherever you are in your career, depending on how far you want to go, depending on how fast you want to get there, we're here to help you. We are going to speed that up. We're going to turn up the volume. We're going to turn up the temperature on the burner and get you there quicker, right? That is our job. So if any of you guys are interested in learning more about how having a mentor can help you, and want to know any more about our training packages, we've drastically increased the different offerings that we have now. We used to have 2, now we have 7. Okay, so just type down #training in the comments below, because wherever you